databases, but I've never worked with one that had the kind of tracking system that I need to use in my like day-to-day work one-on-one with donors. So I developed my own tracking document, and it's a version of what I'm going to share with you right now. Countless colleagues, they found ways to make it their own. So let me just walk you through it. Obviously, you've got the names. You know, you can go into as much detail on this as you want. You could put their emails there. You could put their ID numbers, etc. I like early on in the document to have my immediate next step right up there in front, because you're going to have lots of information by the time you're done, you know, filling this out. And sometimes you just need to know what's your very next step. These other things may not be up to date at all times. So you can just kind of circumvent all that by having your immediate next step there. I always pay, you know, really close attention to what somebody else is supposed to do. So if it's that this is the kind of person who needs to get a note from the executive director every 6 months, being like 3 or 4 columns, like what is the task? Have I assigned it? Who's in charge of getting it done? What is the status? So that can become a pretty rich part of your donor tracking system. I always identify how often this person needs to be in touch with us. So if it's specifically for me, that's one way to do it. If it's for when leadership needs to be in touch with them, that's another way to do it. If it's like enterprise-wide, these are the kind of people who need to be invited to like every single thing. This is just a way to keep track of like, what is the cadence of connection? I like to keep track of, are they related to my personal work? Like, is it all up to me what happens here? Or am I kind of keeping track of this for the enterprise? Like, I know that I bring a lot of value to my colleagues when I can remind them, oh, so-and-so needs to have this and this, right? So I may keep that in this tracking document, but note that that person is more of an enterprise. So what I do here in these orangish columns is I'm keeping track here of what are the things that we need to do with that person. So I might have, especially when it comes to events, I might have like, here's an event that we do at OSU, the President's Dinner. There may track like, okay, Joe Smith needs to be invited to the President's Dinner every year. Joe Smith needs to be invited to the summer concert series. They need a visit. They need to be featured in an article. They need to be blah, blah, blah. So whatever the thing is that is going to be an engagement opportunity that's really meaningful for that donor, I keep track of that here. And as this document kind of comes to life, one of the beauties of it is that when it comes time, when somebody says to you, you know, hey, Anne, do you have anyone that we can feature in the fall newsletter? You go back to your list and you're like, okay, yeah, that's right. I needed so-and-so to have a letter, an article about their gift, all this information in your tracking document. Okay. So that's a really beautiful thing. Now these green columns, this is like just you and yourself reflecting and coming up with what in your heart of hearts do you really know is going to happen with this donor. So when you sit down and you look at like your next 4 quarters, 8 quarters, right? 12 quarters, where's the money coming from? Right? So you're going to list, this person's next gift conversation is what fiscal year and what quarter. Okay. The next column is, what do I really think they will commit to? What do I really think they'll give? Okay. It's not the amount that you're going to open the proposal for. Like, this is separate from your database. This is not what is going to get, you know, that other people are going to see. This is just for you and yourself. And then the question is, what's the probability of this gift being made? Okay. So with those three columns, you can begin to map out where the money's coming from and when. All right. And then the little notes column. You can color code. You cannot color code. You can share this with people. You cannot share this with people. I've done it both ways. Track of what you're actually doing with your donors. I hope this is helpful. Oh, I can send you the link for this.